the Toreador song from Carmen on the bass for the chamber audition. There's a lot going on in this piece, and there's a lot of kind of weird shifting, so I'm going to go through it kind of from the first measure all the way to the last measure and talk about the different things that we see, the different shifting, and kind of things to practice. So right off the bat, you see we start soft, we start in third position, which means our first finger's on C natural. Notice we have a B flat, so when it has you shift to third and a half position, it's just having you go up a half step so that your fourth finger's just on B flat instead of all the way up on B natural. So, first two lines here, just normal third position, cross over to the D string for those A's. We see tenuto marks, so we separate them. All right. So we got just a little pause in the middle is how that bow stroke works. So you want to make it sound connected, but just a tiny break in bow speed so that we get that definition. And then we get the first kind of tricky little shifting spot. So what you have to do is in the middle of this slur, all in the down bow, you're going from fourth finger A, and first finger G. You're going to replace that pinky with your second finger and put your fourth finger down for B flat. So I would practice that just as separate notes. So make sure you've got that down before you put the rhythm back. Then put it back under a slur. And then we have still fourth finger on B flat. We have our next shift, which takes us back into third position. So you're going from fourth finger back down to G. And what is going to be really, really successful for a lot of these shifting sections is to take them out of context and just play the notes first. So B flat, G, C, A. And right now I'm in the fifth measure right there. B, G, C, A. So, I mean, all the fingers are listed there. If it says 4 and it's on an A, it's not going to be this A over here. So use your brains. Make sure you're thinking through. And all all of the Roman numerals are under there to tell you what position that you're supposed to be in. So, if you see it says Roman numeral 3, you know you should be up here. We don't get back to first position all the way until measure 10. So if you're in first position and you're not at measure 10 yet, you know something's a little bit up. So take these sections and make sure you're separating those notes out. And those aren't quite in tune, so I gotta make sure I go back and fix that. So then you put it back in rhythm. And you put the bowing back. So make sure this bowing has a lot of slurs over an entire measure. The entire first measure's down, the entire second measure's up, the entire third measure's down. It's kind of measure by measure for the whole first line. So make sure you're getting those bowing down. Down, 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 up, up, down, 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 up. Lots of slurs. But you can watch my hands to figure out what the fingering is supposed to be there, and all the Roman numerals are there. So like I said, take these notes, play them individually, like for measure 7 and 8, separate the notes out. Make sure you've got it down. Put the rhythm back, and put the bowing back. Let me move on to measure 9. You come in on the end of 1 after a full measure. So 1 and 2 and 1 and. That's when you change your bow. And 2 and 1. Then you're in first position. And then it's home free, right? Once you're in first position, you know what's going on. So make sure you just get the bowing down and 2 and 1 up on the and. Here's where it gets a little bit interesting. You have to go all the way up into fourth position for that E, but you shift to fourth position not on that E, but one note before it. So we have make sure you're listening for that rhythm there. I think I might have played it wrong in the recording. That's 1, 2, a 1. It's really, really quick. Lots of these 16th notes figures have to be really accurate. 1 and 2, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1. Make sure you're subdividing 16th notes and making sure those are accurate. Otherwise, it's going to sound like 8th notes, right? That's 8th notes. Let me play the 16th notes now. Bum, ba, ba. So here, like I said, separate the notes out. I think I was doing that shifting a little weird. They have you doing first finger on E, fourth finger on E, fourth finger on A, fourth finger on A again, second finger on G sharp. Then you see Roman numeral 4, you shift up so that your first finger is like where high D is, and you play a B natural and high E. Right now I'm at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is measure 13. So fourth finger E, fourth finger A again, second finger G sharp, shift to the B, and then E. And I'm doing this same technique where I'm just taking each of the notes individually and I'm making sure that I can play them before I add any rhythm, before I add any bowing. Cool, now I'm going to add the rhythm. Okay, now I'm going to add the bowing. A lot of weird slurs in there. And then this note lasts for 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 2 full measures, and then just beat 1, and then you move on the and of 1, just like you did in measure 10. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and that's where you move. So subdivide. If you got a metronome, even better. So let me do that one more time. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and. So you play and 2 and 1 and 2. And again, in this next measure, we come in on the end of 1. There's a lot of times that you come in on the end of 1, so subdividing while you're playing in your head is going to be really helpful. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and. So making sure you know when to change your bow. And here, the shifting's pretty straightforward. We're going from that high E to doing high D with fourth finger, C sharp with 2, then you're in first position. And then you go back with the third position. So it's a lot of going back and forth between third and first. And again, like I said, you want to take these notes, you want to separate them out. Make sure you've got it down in the other part. Right then I was just playing those 2 measures in that last line, measure 2 and measure 3. In that last line, I was going from the B flat, playing B flat, A, F, high D, C natural, and I'm just taking those notes out of rhythm, out of context, making sure I got that shift down, then I'll add the rhythm. Then I'll add the bowing. And then this last 3 measures is the toughest part of the entire song. And the reason is that in the middle of a slur, you have to shift from first position to 3.5, going from second finger to fourth finger, and it's kind of awkward. You can see how far my hand has to travel, all the way from here up to here. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to go back and forth between C natural and that B flat. It's a very weird interval. I would actually just play it in first position a couple times. C natural to B flat, 2 to 2. Get it in your ear. Then start doing the shift. A little high. Closer. There we go. So once you have that shift, add the F natural before it. A little sharp. tuner in front of me, so I gotta shift a little less distance. There we go. Then you add the slur. A little bit. And it's hard. This is a very, very hard shift to get. So if you're not getting it, go back to the first step. Make sure your hand's really confident. And then go on from there. And those last 4 notes, hot cross buns. 2, 4, 1. Use the fingerings to help you. Use the Roman numerals to help you if you need help with those positions. Go watch the shifting etude. I explain in depth all of those Roman numerals and what they mean. Let me know if you have any questions. This is going to be all about going note by note, taking the rhythm away, taking the bowing away, and just making sure you understand where your fingers need to be. Once you have that, then go back, listen, add the rhythm back in. Once you've got the rhythm pretty confidently down, go back again and add the bowing in. It's really, really tricky to put everything together, so make sure you don't move on until you get one thing down really confidently. But let me know if you have any questions, if you want me to record like a specific couple of measures to help you out, or if you want to record yourself and send it over. I'll listen to it. I'll give you some information on how to improve. But if you have any comments or questions, comment them on the video, comment them on the Google Classroom, send me a reminder, whatever works. And I will see you later.